Mr. David Foxx, thank you for having me today, sir.
Yeah, George, how are you?
Two thumbs up.
Good, good. Hey, you know what? I was thinking about this the other day, and I wanted to cross it by you because I know that you probably dealt with this a little bit in your past. But when you were like transitioning from military life, into
Mm.
civilian life, like what were some of the difficulties that you had or the challenges that you had, kind of doing that?
Do you have about an hour or two?
I don't know about that
Uh,
much time, but
man, there's a lot. There's a lot. Uh, Everything's on your mind, and they're trying to throw you through some kind of transition program, and they're giving you this information and that information, and you're thinking, where am I going to work? Am I going to start school? Where am I going to live? Do I call my mom and go back and live at my mom's house
mm,
after like a bunch of years in the army and being a decorated guy and this and that? I
right.
got these awards. So many challenges, but the first thing is employment.
Mm.
I mean, if you're not making money, you're not earning your self-worth, you're not earning your dignity. And a lot of people don't see it that way. But yeah, when you're earning some money or you are working and you are staying gainfully employed, it keeps your mind off of things, and you feel like you're contributing.
Yeah, well,
So
the amount of skills that you had, coming from the military, though, but you were a recruiter, right?
yeah, towards the end of my career, I went to the recruiting command, which I really that was a godsend. That was a blessing because I got to pick up so many skills. I learned a lot of things about communication. I learned a lot of things about community outreach. I learned things about social entrepreneurship. You get your own business. You get a recruiting station, and it's like, here, run this business in town and do a good job. And it's like, whoa. And the Army has very,
Wow,
very high standards, but
wow.
it also gives you a false sense of confidence because you're thinking, oh, well, when I get out in this civilian world, I'm going to crush it. I'm going to have every skill. Everyone's going to want to hire me. Well, it's a little too much for most civilians. And
Hmm,
so you get out and there's not this magical, awesome recruiting job waiting for you.
hmm. That's crazy. What a little bit more expansion on like the skills that you had as a recruiter? Like, what were some of those skills that you came out with?
Definitely being able to follow up, sales skills, interpersonal skills, interview skills, counseling skills,
Oh
building
man.
skills, leadership skills. These are things that we would have a thing called sergeant's time
Hmm,
and station commander training and battalion training and brigade training. And so at every level of it, you learned about the sales, you learned about the relationships, you learned about demographics, you learned about every bit of running a corporation, a company in this recruiting aspect. So it was really amazing.
wow. If I could definitely use skills exactly like that. I working in financial services, like if we could have recruiters really see what it is that we do and all of those skill sets that are there, like it'd be pretty amazing to have all of those skills. Like I would
Fox,
definitely attach them up and grab them up in a second.
dude,
So
from your lips to God's ears, give me 10. I don't care what branch of the military you were in, serving during what time. If you were in the recruiting command, if you were a recruiter for the military and you liked it, you enjoyed it. Maybe you didn't like the toxic leadership. Maybe you
mhm.
didn't like the environment that the military created, but you actually enjoyed the job of relationship building and leadership and all that. If you like that, I need 10. Dude, if you get 10
Right.
military recruiters, oh, you could take over.
Yeah, I totally see that right now too. Just to have the drive and even like the standards that you have, like following a system that just goes straight down and making sure that you meet those quotas that you have. Like it's so funny because all of those skill sets are built in to exactly what I'm looking for. So like
What?
I would even put this out there. Like if we could, share this around to some recruiters, like if you're looking for something a little bit different, or maybe you're struggling in something that you don't enjoy right now and you're looking to either add to it or replace it altogether, it's like let's have a conversation. It's like
Dude,
let's show a different way of doing it.
that's a great point. You want to add to it. If I would have known about an opportunity where I can use my recruiting skills in the civilian world and earn money, I would have explored that option.
That's awesome.
I would have taken a 10-minute call. I would have said, what's this thing all about? I would have been very like sketch about it, because military recruiters are like, what's this all about? But once you get
Good.
past that part, then it's all good. But I did not know about something like this. And a lot of military recruiters, they get out of recruiting, they get out of the recruiting command, they go back to regular Army, and then they get out and they're like, wait a minute, I thought that recruiting skill set was going to get me something, get me a job. And they
Mm,
don't know how to work through this transition phase when you're transitioning out of the military and going to civilian life. You don't know what the titles of the civilian jobs are that match up your skill set. Now, there's some websites, there's some things that try to do, they're like, hey, punch in your military code number, like 19 kilo, and these are the jobs you can do out here, construction or this or that or whatever. But it's
mm.
not like talking to a human. It's not like saying, hey, tell me what did you do in recruiting exactly? What was your job in recruiting? And
Right.
so one thing that's really, really great is in recruiting, when you're assigned an entire college or a couple of high schools, one person, and you have to implement this strategy there, they allow you to use your creativity. You're an
Wow.
entrepreneur. So you're not an entrepreneur, you're an entrepreneur. You're part of this wheel, you're part of this team, and you have to have your own creative headspace to make your mission happen, because you're on mission to recruit a couple of people each month. So it's not like you have your team, you're used to working with other people with the training, but at the end of the day, you are your own business, and people understand that if they come from a military recruiting background.
Man, the recruiters that I see online these days that are from civilian, I always see them kind of struggling a little bit, because it does take a lot of discipline. And
Mm-hmm.
working with you, George, like I see your work ethic. I see that you even called it something like a list that you work down, every day. You've got your little, list that you make sure you complete every day, or else your
Yep.
sergeant's gonna, lay into you.
Got to do it.
So, which
Got to do
which I
it.
thought was
The
pretty
after
amazing.
action review. It's like every single
There
day
you go.
you have
There
a
you go.
certain list of things, and in the morning you do a little morning, you sit down, and what's your plan today? What are your goals today? You plan on getting one recruit, you plan on getting 5 phone numbers, you plan on making 75 phone calls. What do you plan to do? Look me in my eyes and let me know. And it's like, it's way more intense than what we do now, way more. And
Yeah.
so if you have that skill set and you've been in that environment, well, hey, there's something over here for you that pays a lot more handsomely than military recruiting.
So if you have a recruiter, or you yourself are a recruiter, even those who have some of the skill sets that we were talking about today, we are looking for you. That skill set is much desirable, especially in the private sector. Even if you have a retirement age and you're still, working here as a recruiter, I'd love to talk to you how we can actually begin to start developing income for you in the side business, or even in a different being a business owner. So at least you'll have options when you get to that date.
Now, I
That'd be a
will say
great
this,
conversation to have.
the people who didn't like recruiting, this is not for you.
Yeah.
This is a position that entails some of those things and those skill sets to be fully in use in this particular skill set over here in this industry.
Mm.
So the people who did enjoy going out there, building relationships, talking to people, getting one connection to the next connection, and really trying to help somebody. If you were in recruiting and you would have these counseling sessions where you're sitting across from the parents and you're really trying to help that family, you're trying to help that young man or person or young lady get to where they're going, because based on their goals, if you're one of these people who recruited with integrity and you're a credible person, that's who Mr. Fox is looking for. This is not for the yahoos. This is for the people who were legit, who actually are stand-up people within the community, and you're doing the right thing no matter if somebody's looking or not.
George, I appreciate this call a lot. I knew I would get value from this because, being from someone who transitioned now, and to see how far you've come and what you've built is pretty amazing.
Thank
So
you,
thank you
sir.
for helping me get this message out to those who are looking for us. I
Thank
appreciate it.
you. I appreciate you choosing me to call. Peace.